Hi everyone, I am Usharani, Assistant Professor in Economics, A.D.M.COLLEGE, NAGAPATTINam. My topic is Energy Economics. What is energy economics? Energy economics is a specific application of economics to the energy industry and the trade involved with it. This field of economics takes a look at how energy is produced and supplied to meet the demand by various people and entities. As there is a supply and demand dynamic, there is a market for energy, which means that there is monetary exchange involved as well. The energy economy is a very important study because of how reliant the world is on its users. Energy covers fuels, electricity, and other forms of power. Much of the policy of energy economics has to do with how to get the most energy out of your form generation using as little of it as possible. This creates as much efficiency as possible, and in the case of energy forms that produce environmental impact, help to reduce harm to ecosystems around the world. Energy is the backbone of complete productions activity. Any productions activity cannot operate without energy as it is an important aspect of a development process. Not only in industrial sector but also in agricultural sector, energy is used on a large scale. This energy is used in operations like transportations and operations of pesticides, fertilizer, and farm equipment. It also plays on important part for household lighting, cooking, and heating. Source of energy. Commercial energy. This type of energy is usually consumed by commercial entities and not by the residential or household. This energy is accessible to the consumer or the price to be paid and is non-renewable resource of energy. Commercial sources like coal, petroleum, and electricity are bought and sold to the users. Sometimes the use of commercial source of energy is taken as a sign of economic development of a country. Non-commercial energy. These sources of energy is used by people for household purpose. It indicates the standard of living of a country. Non-commercial energy is available free of cost to the user. Few examples are cow dung, firewood, and agricultural waste. Non-conventional source of energy. This source of energy is available in abundance in nature as it does not get costed easily and are renewable. It is economically eco-friendly or used for domestic purposes. Few types of non-conventional energy are wind, sun, biological waste, etc. to produce power and heat. Conventional and non-conventional source of energy. Conventional source of energy. This source of energy is natural energy resources that has been used for many years to produce light, heat, food, and electricity. The energy is further divided into commercial and non-commercial source of energy. This energy is non-renewable and it is available in limited quantity apart from hydroelectric power. Few types of conventional energy are coal, natural gas, electricity, thermal power, cow dung, straw, etc. Significance of energy. Energy is a lifeline of entire productivity activity. First one, agricultural. Agriculture require energy to operate and transfers. Industries, energy is required to run machines and manufacturing goods. Services like banking, communications, etc. not possible without electricity. Meaning of energy. Energy is a lifeline of entire production activity. In fact, any productions activity cannot take place without electricity. First one, agriculture. Agriculture needs the energy to operate tube wells and threshers. Our next one, industry. Industries is essential for the development of industries. Helps in running machinery and manufacturing goods. It helps in the transportations of raw material and finished goods. It is essential for the development of industries. Helps is running machinery and manufacturing goods. It helps in the transportation of raw material and finished goods. Two sources of energy. Commercial sources. Commercial sources are coal, petroleum, and electricity as they are bought and sold. More than 50% of energy sources are consumed in India. Non-commercial sources. Non-commercial source of energy are firewood, agricultural waste, and dried dung. These are non-commercial as they are found in natural forest. Conventional source of energy, coal. It is one of the major and the primary source of energy in India. India is rich in coal production. Productions of coal in India increased from 328 lakhs tons in 1950-51 to 5,668 lakhs tons in 2013-14 and 620 lakhs tons in 2014 and 15. 50% for total energy is produced by coal, which has increased to 72.8% in 2013. It is estimated that India has 3 lakhs now, 564 million tons of coal reserve in 2014. Some principal consumer of coal: one, thermal power stations; number two, steel plants; number three, railway, etc. Petroleum, productions of petroleum in India is very less than its demand. This force India is important to petroleum at large scale. Domestic productions of crude oil was the 38 million tons is the last 4 years. 2010-13 varies demand in 2013-14 was about 227 million tons. Natural gas. This is mainly used as a raw material in fertilizer, petroleum products, and also as cooking gas, LPG, liberalization, privatizations, and globalizations in households. Main reserves of natural gas are found in Mumbai, Gujarat, Tripura, Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, and Rajasthan. Electricity. Electricity is the most useful and convenient source of energy in India. Three main sources of electricity in India are thermal power stations, hydroelectricity stations, atomic power stations. Non-conventional source of energy, so solar energy, meaning solar energy is the energy received by the earth from the sun. This energy in the form of solar radiations, which makes use of the productions of solar electricity possible. Uses it is used for water heating, cooking, lighting, and for agricultural and industrial operations. Benefits: it requires little maintenance cost and thus the more economical source of energy. It is pollution free and environment friendly. Wind energy, meaning energy generated by wind power is known as wind energy. India has very large wind power potential, which is being harnessed through the wind energy program. Uses wind energy generated through windmills is used for minor irrigations and agricultural operations. Benefits: the maintenance cost of wind energy is comparatively lowest. It is also pollution free and environment friendly. Biogas, meaning it refers to gas made by fermentations of agriculture and animal waste. The technology for conversions of animal waste into biogas is well developed, and more than 50 lakhs biogas plants are already in operations. It also known as gobar gas. Uses: it is a source of fuel which is being used in rural area for cooking, etc. Benefits: it is cheap and efficient fuel, and its feedstock is renewable. It helps in getting animal and agricultural waste. Natural resources. Natural resources are any kind of natural substance which is required or desired by humans. Different natural resources are not equally spread out across the earth. As a result, countries must trade their natural resources to ensure that their needs can be met. Discuss why different types of natural are important. Example: mineral and mystic metals like iron, gold, copper, silicon, cobalt, etc. are used as building materials and use technology such as computers, smartphones, and cars. Forest and rainforest forest are used for timber and medicines, as well as being important habitat for thousands of species of animals. Plants and fungi, crops like wheat, vegetables, and fruits are grown for food. Water is used for drinking, washing, and generating energy. Animals such as fish are caught for eating. Fossil fuels like coal, oil, and gas are burnt for energy. Energy resources. Energy resources such as oil, gas, coal, wood, wind, wave, sunlight, heat from the ground, geothermal are all types of natural resources. They can be used to produce heat and electricity. A country energy mix is the specific combinations of different energy sources the country uses to meet its energy consumption needs. At present in the UK, we use a mixture of non-renewable and renewable engines. Non-renewable energy resources are finite and cannot be easily replaced. We once planets are using them faster than they are being made, so they will inevitably run out. Renewable energy resources will not run out or can be easily replaced. So economies are trying to move towards greater reliance on renewable energy sources, non-renewable and renewable resources. Discuss the sources or renewable and non-renewable is wood, biomass, yeah, renewable or non-renewable resources. Yes and no, wood can be a renewable resource, but only if all the trees that are chopped down or replanted. Otherwise, it is not renewable. The renewable does not necessarily mean not carbon dioxide emissions. Burning biofuel and would release CO2, but these plants also take CO2 when they are going through photosynthesis in this process of building hydroelectric dams. And wind turbines or renewable energy sources must be used at present. Can students think of any other energy resource not of this slide? Wave power, tidal power, hydrogen fuel, substantial gas. Energy consumptions on fuel world. Global energy consumption from 2017 energy outlook renewables orange include wind, solar, geothermal, biomass, and biofuels. The current dominant source of energy are and show this projected to change in the near future. 2035 oil, gas, and coal are still predicted to account for more than 75% of total energy supplies. However, hydroelectric power, nuclear, and renewables are predicted to increase. There is a dip in the graph for energy consumption in 2009. Why might this be? Global recessions cause demand for energy to shrink while the world as a whole. Primary energy consumption fell by 1.1% in 2009. The statistical review of world energy. Non-renewable resources. Non-renewable energy resources include the conventional fossil fuels, coal, iron, gas, and nuclear energy. It also includes unconventional fossil fuels such as methane, hydrates, and tar sands, oil and gas formations. As the phytoplankton and zooplankton are buried over thousands and millions of years, the heat and pressure rises and the organic matter in the sediment in turn into petroleum, oil, and gas. Oil and natural gas is less dense than the surrounding rock, so migrates upwards through tiny pores and features in the surrounding rock. Some oil and natural gas manage to get all the way to the surface and escape through and into the atmosphere. Example, robbery, prairies in California. Other oil and natural gas get trapped in reservoirs under improbable layers of rock, known as seals or cap rocks. These trapped deposits are then drilled after extensive exploitations and testings to release the oil and gas. Example in the North Sea oil field. Oil and gas can be burned to produce electricity. To do this oil gas, chemical energy is burned in power plants to heat water and produce steam. The kinetic energy of the steam then propels and blades of a turbine. The turbine is attached to a generator and when it spins, it produces electricity. Oil is also used as fuel in cars, plants, buses, and trains. Chemical energy, mechanical energy, kinetic energy. Before it can be put into cars and plants or used as wax, etc. Crude oil extracted from the earth must be refined in non-oil refinery by fractional distillations to turn into different fuels like petrol, diesels, and jet engine fuels. Fractional distillations diagram because they have different boiling points. The substances in crude oil can be spreaded using fractional distillations. Crude oil is evaporated and hydrocarbons contains a different temperature in the fractioning column. Each fractions contains hydrocarbons molecules with a smaller number of carbon atoms. Larger molecules have higher boiling points and to increase as easily so the condense low in fractions. For example, bitumen used in roads and fuel oil for ships. Most of the coal we have on here today was formed during a time called the Carboniferous period 360 to 199 million years ago. when which the earth, including the UK, was converged in tropical swamps. As the swamp plants died, the remains sank to the bottom of the swampy areas, making layers and layers of a squashed plant material. The thick layers of plant material eventually turned into a bronze spongy material called coal patterns the lowest rung of coal. Example that is the lost exists efficient, but it's not an important fuel in places like Ireland, Scotland, and Finland. Over millions of years, and each changing environment layer of mud and the silt built up on top of the peat, and it becomes mud as the peat is buried further and further millions of years. Heat and pressure acting up it turned into a coal. Types of coal, the hotter the temperature, the deeper the coal is burned, and the longer an amount of time the coal is buried, the better, more efficient coal you get. Lignite brown coal is the first type of coal. Peat is not technically coal. It has a low carbon content and a high moisture and volatile content, which means it does not burn very efficiently. Anthracite is the most efficient coal. It has the high carbon content, very low moisture and volatilized content and burns with a short bell. Blue flame. Complete conclusions. Most of the coal was used between a coal in between lignite and anthracite in terms of carbon and moisture content. Energy modeling. Energy modeling or energy system modeling is the process of building computer models of energy systems in order to analyze them. Some models often employ scenario analysis to investigate different assumptions about the technical and economic conditions at play. According to methods used to process the information, we can classify energy models into three main types: gray box, black box, and white box. Explain these three categories. White box physical laws stand at the ground of this model and the property of the system being modeled. Black box historical data and the statistical analysis create this second model. And the third one, gray box, a mix of the historical data and the simplified physics is used in this model. Energy conservation. Energy conservation generally includes actions to reduce the amount of end-use energy consumptions. For example, installing energy efficient lights is an efficiently measure. Turning light off when not needed. The manually or with times or motions sensor switches is the conservation measure. Energy conservation. Energy conservation is the effort to reduce wasteful energy consumption by using fewer energy services. This can be done by using energy more effectively, using less energy of continuous service, or changing one's behavior to use less service, for example, by driving less energy conservation. The greenhouse effect occurs when greenhouse gases in a planet's atmosphere insulate the planet from losing heat to space, rising its surface temperature. Surface heating can happen from an internal heat sources, as is the case of Jupiter, or from its host star, as is the case of the Earth. In the case of Earth, the sun emits short water wave radiation sunlight that passes through the greenhouse gases to heat the Earth's surface in response. Energy policy in India. Energy policy of India characterized by trade-offs between four major drives: a rapidly growing economy with a need for dependable and reliable supply of electricity, gas, and petroleum products, increasing household incomes, being the need for an affordable and adequate supply of electricity and clean cooking. India has set a target to reduce the carbon intensity of the nation's economy by less than 45% by the end of the decade. Achieve 50% the percent cumulative electric power installed by 230 from renewable and achieve net zero urban emissions by 2070. India aims for 500 and the renewable energy installed capacity by 2030. The Energy Conservation Act 2001 was enacted to provide efficient use of energy and its conservation and format character. The current status of energy in India. The present installed capacity of power generation is around 4 lakhs to 2,132 out of total generation capacity. 9,943 they added in the current year. 2023 and 24, 1,674 is from fossil fuel sources and 8,269 from non-fossil fuel sources. During the year, 750 67 of renewable capacity.